Good afternoon. We're calling this meeting to order. I note that some of the participants are participating via video conference. Today's public meetings are also being live streamed from the Port Authority website. We will now hold the public committee meeting, starting with the Committee on Operations, which I will chair, followed by the Committee on Capital Planning, Execution, and Asset Management, which I'll also chair, and we'll conclude the public portion of today's meeting with a public board meeting. Let's start the public session of the Committee on Operations, which is being held in public in its entirety. At this point, I ask the Board Secretary to advise those present and the composition of the committee and any commissioner recusals here today.
The Committee on Operations is composed of Chairman O'Toole, the committee chair, Vice Chairman Linford, the committee vice chair, and Commissioners Kelly, LaBarbera, and McCabe. All committee members are present with the exception of Vice Chairman Linford. In addition to the committee members, Commissioners Bolwage, Cohen, Eve, Helmy, Richardson, and Rosado are also present. There are no recusals required.
Great, thank you. At this time, we're going to hear from our Director of Aviation, Charles Everett, who'll present two items that require our approval for authorization of leases for the development of the airport support facilities at New York Stewart International. Charles, welcome.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I'm here today to request your approval to authorize two new leases for development of hangars at New York Stewart International Airport with SWF Development and Aviation Facilities Company Management, LLC, doing business as AFCO. The proposed leases would provide for the new aeronautical support facilities on land that is currently vacant at the airport. Sure. As an overview, the Port Authority assumed operation of Stewart Airport back in 2007, which is located approximately 50 miles north of New York City and operates nearly 30,000 flights annually. The project is currently operated and maintained by Future Stewart Partners, a joint venture between Groupe Aéroports de Paris and Avports Management. Stewart serves as an alternative to the Port Authority's large commercial airports and is comprised of one terminal, two fixed-base operators, one corporate hangar, and one maintenance, repair, and overhaul facility. Within the Port Authority airport system, Stewart is a critical transportation hub for the Hudson Valley region. Over the past few years, corporate jet activity has continued to increase, driving demand for hangars and support space in the region. With over 130 acres of available land, Stewart Airport represents an attractive airport in the region for the development, operation, management of general aviation support and cargo facilities. In the next few slides, I will review the Port Authority's plan to capitalize on the vacant land and the increased corporate jet activity to grow and enhance Stewart Airport. Starting in June of 2020 through October 2020, a request for qualifications was issued for the development, financing, operation, and maintenance of the cargo facilities and general aviation aeronautical support facilities across the airport. The RFQ was reissued from October 22 through November 22 due to limitations presented during the COVID-19 pandemic. At the conclusion of the RFQ period, 14 firms responded, 8 of which were pre-qualified. Of those 8, 3 were for cargo facilities and 5 were for general aviation aeronautical support facilities. The 5 firms for aeronautical support facilities were then requested to submit finalized proposals in the second quarter of 2023. These included the following elements: a conceptual development scope proposal, documented commitment from users, a commitment to immediate development, and a commitment to remit market rate ground rent and a minimum capital investment. 4 firms submitted conceptual design proposals. By the third quarter of 23, 2 bidders submitted finalized proposals for aeronautical support facilities that address each element to the satisfaction of the Port Authority. Port Authority staff recommend the advancement of 2 proposals with AFCO and SWF Development. Although each firm submitted separate proposals to develop operations on the same site, it is recommended to advance the 2 developments at the same time as they complement each other. The proposal from SWF Development is recommended based on the following: the quality of the development proposal, the demonstrated users for the proposed development, SWF Development's significant capital investment of $60 million, and the financial terms of the proposal which meets the agency's market valuation. The proposal submitted by AFCO is recommended based on the quality of its development proposal, AFCO's identification of a committed user for the proposed development, AFCO's significant capital investment commitment of $59 million, and the financial terms of its proposal which meet the agency's market valuation. The 2 leases for AFCO and SWF Development are recommended for the parcel of land at Stewart that is depicted on this slide. On the side of the development, SWF Development will develop a corporate jet complex that includes a corporate jet service facility and corporate hangar. On the other side of the site, AFCO will develop a hangar complex. These two facilities will be built on vacant, undeveloped land at Stewart, and collectively, the two developers will invest nearly $120 million. As mentioned in the previous slide, SWF Development proposed a corporate jet complex on 12 acres. This campus will include up to 13 corporate jet hangars with office and parking spaces. Each hangar is intended to be leased out to different entities. This transaction is in line with the high level of interest in hangar space in the region. Additionally, the proposed lease includes a 30-year term with 3 5-year mutual options to extend and a minimum of $60 million capital investment by SWF Development with no Port Authority capital required. And this transaction is estimated to remit approximately $24.6 million in land rent over the base period. As for the other proposed transaction, AFCO proposed the development of a 9-acre hangar campus. This campus will include two 62,000-square-foot hangars, one of which will be occupied by NetJets as its service hub, and the other will house a corporate flight department. The proposed lease includes a 30-year term with 3 5-year mutual options to extend and a minimum of $59 million capital investment by AFCO with no Port Authority capital required. The proposed developments are expected to have a positive benefit to the community surrounding the airport, in part due to the commitment from the developers to meet the Port Authority's minority and women-owned business enterprise and service-disabled veteran-owned business goals of 20% participation by MBEs, 10% participation by WBEs, and 3% participation by SDVOBs. Also, due to the economic benefits of the construction and permanent job opportunities, it is estimated that the two projects could result in approximately 260 construction jobs and over 245 permanent job opportunities. And the developer's commitment to the Port Authority's net zero goals by 2050 and energy efficiency standards. Each facility will be required to meet LEED Silver certification at a minimum. I request your approval to enter into 2 separate lease agreements with SWF Development LLC and AFCO for the development of new hangar facilities at New York Stewart International Airport. For the next steps, if approved, lease execution is expected by fall of 2024 to allow time for contractor due diligence. Finally, construction is expected to be completed and operations would commence as early as first quarter 2028. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Charles. Any commissioners have any comments or questions with respect to these proposals? May I have a motion from a committee member who is not recused on the matter to move the item forward for consideration for the full board?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Any objections? Hearing none, the motion's passed, and that concludes today's meeting on capital of operations.